going on, guys? It's your boy Dom Kemp, and tonight we are back here with another podcast. Those of you who are the night owls like myself, you will be up and ready to listen to this, guys, because right on time, Blake Griffin has been traded to the Detroit Pistons for Avery Bradley and another player. I will, of course, be going into detail about that trade. But, of course, there's other things as well, guys. So, the first thing we're going to be starting off, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for those of you who do support the podcasting series that I do have on this channel, whether it's the NBA ones, the NFL ones, or even the Premier League / soccer ones. Thank you so much for all your support, guys. It is much appreciated, and you guys are motivating me to upload a podcast every day, and I really enjoy it. But, guys, top headlines. Right now, the top headlines is sources. Clippers trade Blake Griffin to the Pistons. Now, this is an interesting trade, guys. Blake Griffin does have a real fat contract, so I understand why they did that. And also, he's an injury-prone player. And over the past couple years, he's been getting injured over and over again, time and time again, season after season. And I don't think he's played a full season in about maybe 3-4 years. I'm not sure. Please don't quote me on that, but I will bring more information about that in a little bit, guys. But other than that, Blake Griffin traded from Clippers to Pistons in Blockbuster Deal, sources say. So let's jump straight into it. The LA Clippers have agreed to trade all-star forward Blake Griffin to the Detroit Pistons, league sources told ESPN. The Clippers will receive Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Boban Marjanovic, and a first and second round draft pick, league sources said. Hold up. So literally, the Pistons have traded literally their whole entire squad for Blake Griffin. Okay, pretty interesting. How do you guys feel about that right there? And that's it. I'm not even halfway through the article, and already, this is interesting. Sounds like a desperation from the Pistons, just literally selling their whole team plus draft picks away just to get one player in Blake Griffin, who's injury prone and has a fat contract. But here we go. The Clippers are also sending Bryce Johnson, Willie Reed to Detroit alongside Griffin, sources said. Okay. Man, I thought it was just Blake Griffin being sent there. Literally, the Clippers getting 3 players and draft picks with just Blake Griffin leaving by himself. Now imagine that. But guys, also Bryce Johnson and Willie Reed will be now Detroit Pistons. Protections on Detroit's 2018 first-round pick include 1 through 4 in 2018, 2019, and 2020, and unprotected in 2021, per sources. Talks on the Blockbuster trade began 6 days ago, but accelerated in the past 24 hours, according to league sources. The framework of a deal had been in place since early afternoon. Sources say Los Angeles will continue to discuss dealing Lou Williams and DeAndre Jordan with a plan to focus on young players and draft picks while competing for a playoff spot this season. Pistons center Andre Drummond welcomed Griffin on Instagram. And I quote, "No longer a foe, now a true friend of the crown. Welcome to Detroit, Blake Griffin 32. Hashtag Dilly Dunks, hat Bud Light." On July 1st, Griffin reached an agreement on a 5-year, $171 million deal with the Clippers. Griffin did not receive a no-trade clause as part of the new contract. A free agent in the 2017 offseason, Griffin met with team owner Steve Ballmer, president and coach Doc Rivers, special consultant Jerry West, and several players at Staples Center in a celebration of his career. At the end of the 2-hour fete, I think that's how you say it, Griffin rose and spoke, telling teammates, his coach, and his owner, "I want my legacy to be a Clipper." This season, Griffin is averaging 22.6 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 5.4 assists in 33 games for the 25 and 24 Clippers, who are in 9th place in the Western Conference, 14.5 behind the Golden State Warriors entering Monday. His career averages are 21.6 points per game, 9.3 rebounds a game, and 4.2 assists a game. Griffin's career has been marred by injuries. After being drafted with the first pick in the 2009 NBA draft by the Clippers, Griffin broke his left kneecap, had surgery, and missed the entire 2009-2010 season. The following season, officially his rookie year, Griffin was selected as an All-Star, won the NBA Slam Dunk Contest, and was named the NBA Rookie of the Year. Since then, he has missed time with back spasms, a torn left quad, a broken hand, a staph infection, right knee surgery, a broken toe, a sprained left MCL, and a concussion. Lord have mercy. What interest does the Detroit Pistons have? Are you kidding me? He's had all those injuries in a span of a couple years. Let's go back again, shall we? Since then, he has missed time with back spasms 1, a torn left quad 2, a broken hand 3, a staph infection 4, right knee surgery 5, a broken toe 6, a sprained left MCL 7, and a concussion 8. That is 8 injuries in the past 5-6 years for Blake Griffin. Lord have mercy, what is going on? That's terrible. He missed 21 games in 2017 and 47 in 2016. Hasn't played a full season in the past 2 years. Of the players going to the Clippers, Harris is averaging 18.1 points per game and 5.1 rebounds. He posted a farewell message on his Instagram account. And I quote, Detroit, from the day I got here, it's been nothing but love. I want to thank every last one of you for the amazing support, the hospitality, the snow, the games at the Palace and Little Caesars, the cheers, the boos, hearing y'all scream Detroit, followed by basketball. It's been amazing. God's path leads you in many directions. I'm excited to start the next chapter. Want to give a true thank you to my teammates. It's been a blessing to work with you every day. Want to thank Tom Gores and Coach Van Gundy, true professionals and first-class men. Blessings to you, Detroit. Thank you. Wow, okay. Bradley is considered a good defender at guard. He's averaging 15 points per game and is in the last year of his deal that pays him $8.8 million. He will be an unrestricted free agent this summer. So there you have it, guys. My opinion on this trade, guys, I'll say this. The Detroit Pistons, they got a couple role players back, including a starter in Blake Griffin. And it's going to be pretty weird to see Blake Griffin in a Detroit Pistons uniform when he got drafted in 2009, 9 years ago, to the LA Clippers, guys. So that is something that is going to be a talk of conversation for the next week, maybe week and a half, about why and what are the Clippers thinking about that, as well as, of course, an understanding that, now I'll say this, the Clippers made better back and in the deal than the Detroit Pistons have. Wow. Pretty interesting, guys. I'll say this as well. Blake Griffin, he is a great player, guys, especially when he's healthy. But, guys, I'm telling you, if he gets injured, that was a waste of a trade for the Detroit Pistons. They could have definitely gotten maybe a player like DeAndre Jordan for that same amount, possibly. Then again, that would act as conflict for the Detroit Pistons, as in Drummond and DeAndre Jordan trying to battle it out at the 5 position, because neither of them can play the 4 position. That, I think, is true. But other than that, guys, that's interesting to think about, guys. What are your opinions on the Blake Griffin trade? Let me know down below in the comment section. I will respond to you. But other than that, we are moving on into the top headlines in the NBA. We do got Jabari Parker returning, finally, into the starting lineup for the Milwaukee Bucks. Jabari Parker back Friday after a year out for ACL tear. Milwaukee. Bucks forward Jabari Parker will make his season debut Friday night against the New York Knicks. The team announced on Monday Parker has not played since tearing the ACL in his left knee for the second time on February 8th, 2017. And I quote, "I'm really excited," Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo said after scoring 31 points and grabbing 18 rebounds in Monday's 107-95 win over the Philadelphia 76ers. And I quote, "I know the fans are really excited about that too. He's been through this twice in his career, just seeing him every day for the past year now, working hard and being focused towards his return. I think it's big for him, and we all got to embrace the moment. I know he's really excited. I think when he comes back, he's going to take this team to the next level. He's going to help us defensively and offensively." Close quotes. The Bucks are hopeful that Parker will be able to provide some offensive punch alongside Antetokounmpo and continue their winning ways under interim head coach Joe Prunty. Lord, I'm sorry, but if you have a name like that, I'm not even going to criticize. Monday's win marked 4 straight victories since Prunty took over for fired head coach Jason Kidd last week, which in my opinion he shouldn't have been fired. But hey, that's my opinion. Other than that, that's interesting, guys, because I don't think Giannis has played alongside Jabari Parker long enough to understand how he plays. So, of course, guys, it's going to be an adapting period for Jabari Parker in this scenario. It's going to definitely be interesting, and we're going to have to see how that plays out for the Milwaukee Bucks. Hopefully, they make the playoffs, especially since I really want to see Giannis in the playoffs. He's an absolute monster. Okay, moving on. John Wall seeing surgeon for persistent knee injury, guys. So John Wall now, another Eastern Conference star, but this time he's going to be missing the second straight game due to sore left knee. John Wall, this is from the Washington Wizards point guard. Washington Wizards all-star point guard John Wall is expected to miss his second straight game with left knee soreness Tuesday as he and the team search for answers to the persistent problem. Coach Scott Brooks said Wall was getting an MRI on Monday and then heading to the Cleveland Clinic to meet with orthopedic surgeon Richard D. Parker, who performed 2 knee surgeries on Wall in May 2016 and consulted with Wall when he started experiencing inflammation and soreness in November. And I quote, "It's just that it's sore. We have to figure out why is it doing that every so often," close quotes. Brooks told reporters, according to the Washington Post, open quotes, "It's really just in the short term we are concerned because it's sore, but other than that, we feel comfortable with him being able to go forward, but we definitely have to do what's best and go from here." Wall's knee required an MRI earlier this season and has also been drained and received injections. Oh, that sounds terrible. As for the visit with Dr. Parker, Brooks said, "We just know that they're going to all meet, and we're going to go from there. The next couple of days, we will know more." Wall, who is slated to play for Team LeBron on February 18th in Los Angeles in what would be his 5th straight All-Star games, averaging 19.4 points and 9.3 assists this season, both numbers a little better than his career averages. So, guys, hopefully John Wall gets better, guys, because I definitely want to see him explode, especially in the playoffs, guys. He's definitely an explosive player. He's like and I don't want to compare him to Russell Westbrook, but he's probably on that level. Speed-wise, he might be faster than Russell Westbrook, even though Russell Westbrook is more athletic. But, guys, pretty much, guys, please, let me know in the comment section down below. Who would you prefer if you were going to build a team right now with a starting point guard? John Wall from the Eastern Conference or Russell Westbrook from the Western Conference? Let me know that in the comments section down below. And I would say John Wall just because he's more disciplined. Now, wait a second. Before all the Russell Westbrook hate, Russell Westbrook supporters say, "Oh, Russell Westbrook's disciplined." Yes, I get all that, but guys, still understand that John Wall, he knows how to control himself. Russell Westbrook, he's an animal. Not even gonna lie, he has that killer instinct like Kobe had and Michael Jordan had. He does not care who's in front of him. He will dunk on your head. And that's the thing about Russell Westbrook I like. But problems at time, he sometimes goes overboard and has way too much of the ball. John Wall is averaging 9.3 assists, guys. So he's definitely playing pretty good this season. That's why he is an all-star. But hopefully he does not miss the all-star game because I don't know who his replacement would be in that sense. Other than that, let's move on. We have a Porzingis plan for playoffs at trade deadline. So Kristaps Porzingis and New York Knicks, a power forward / center, he talks about adding veteran talent at deadline for playoff preparation. So Kristaps Porzingis is predicting that the Knicks are going to make the playoffs, which I don't have a problem with. The only problem that I have is that they need to make changes now. Otherwise, they're not going anywhere. Let's move. Greenberg, New York. New York Knicks star Kristaps Porzingis said that he would like to see management add talent at the trade deadline to make a playoff push, as opposed to trading veterans and tanking for the draft. And I quote, "Playoff experience for myself individually would be huge at this point in my career. The sooner the better," close quote. Porzingis said Monday when asked his opinion about the Knicks' approach at the February 8th trade deadline, and I quote, "And for most of the Knicks, most of the guys haven't felt that playoff experience that everybody talks about, that the guys talk about that have been there. For myself, selfishly, I would want to play in the playoffs, but we will see what happens and how we can end the season." So there you go. Oh, wait. Nope. Not over yet. My apologies. New York enters play Monday at 22-28, 4 games behind Philadelphia for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. Sources say that opposing teams have expressed interest in several Knicks, including Willie Hernangomez, Kyle O'Quinn, Enes Kanter, Lance Thomas, and Courtney Lee as the trade deadline approaches. New York has lost 14 of its past 19 games after a solid start. It is unclear if team president Steve Mills and general manager Scott Perry prefer to trade veterans and develop younger players for the remainder of the season or continue to pursue a playoff spot. Porzingis says he hasn't talked to management about its plans and doesn't particularly care to be involved in the process. Yet you say you want veteran leadership, so clearly you care about the process. Listen, Kristaps, okay? Listen. I'll read this again. Porzingis says he hasn't talked to management about its plans and doesn't particularly care, yet he's making a statement about needing veteran leadership. Okay. And I quote, "I think they know I want to be in the playoffs, and that's the only thing on my mind. I'm not going to go in there and be like, no, we are tanking. There's no reason to play." Close quotes. Porzingis said with a laugh, open quotes, "Making the playoffs is only thing and I'm focused on. What I need to do on the court to play better, make my team win." Close quotes. Porzingis was also asked on Monday if he sees the other side of the approach at the deadline, with the Knicks facing an uphill climb to qualify for the playoffs. Open quotes, "I don't think it's healthy for any player to have that in their minds," he said. "Whatever happens, you give your all on the court. And if it doesn't work out, you can't win games. Then something else good might happen, and you have that. But as a player, your mindset has to be going out and giving 110% and live with the results." Yeah, guys, okay. This is all fun and dandy, what he's talking about, okay? But this is the same guy who said, "I'm tired. I'm sore. I hate back-to-backs." Okay, dude. How are you going to play? What I'm trying to understand is from the New York Knicks perspective. Yes, I get all that. Yeah, making a player push, fantastic. I'm glad to hear it, Porzingis, but you can't do it all by yourself. And I understand he's trying to push for some trades to be made, bringing in leadership and bringing in players who can contend, guys. I understand all that. But the thing is, Kristaps Porzingis is literally on a team that's trash. And then I'll say this. And even though that's my own personal opinion, understand, guys, they need to build around Porzingis. And I don't think they have been doing that. Yes, they have shooters around him. That's fantastic. But do they have a qualified point guard who can score, pass, and rebound, as well as make plays on defense? Yes, they have Ntilikina, but he only plays defense. He can't play offense. And that's the only problem with having a defensive-minded player. See, the thing about lockdown defenders, players like Kawhi Leonard, Michael Jordan, literally, they play both sides of the ball, and that's what I love about them. They play both sides. Even though they're labeled as a lockdown defender, they will lock you up on defense, but they will score on your head, drop points on your head on the offensive side. And that's the thing about the New York Knicks. They need that aggressive point guard. And guys, I'm saying this right now. Many ESPN analysts have said this, but I'm saying this right now on my own podcast. They need to trade for Damian Lillard. Imagine Damian Lillard in a Knicks uniform, the big city. He needs to get out of Portland, first and foremost. They aren't going anywhere. They're not going to make a big, long playoff push. The Portland Trailblazers are just not going to do that. Just saying. But, guys, man, if they can trade for someone like Damian Lillard, guys, they will be contenders, and at least making it out of the first round. That's the main thing. But, guys, that's what the Knicks need right now, a point guard at the point guard position. Let me know your thoughts on Damian Lillard, or if you guys have another choice in mind that the Knicks can afford, of course, and trading for. Let me know before February 8th. Let's get it. Okay, moving on. We got the Bucks. More Bucks news, guys, so pretty interesting. Oh, authorities won't charge Bucks Sterling Brown after parking spat. That's right, guys. I think I covered this last week with Sterling Brown. Maybe I didn't. I'm not quite sure. But I remember something about Sterling Brown. He got in trouble. Milwaukee. Let's read about it. Police officials say they will not seek charges against Milwaukee Bucks rookie Sterling Brown, who was arrested last week during a confrontation in a Walgreens parking lot. And officers used a stun gun on Brown in an incident that happened about 2 a.m. Friday. Police have not released further details. Milwaukee police said Monday, a review of reports and body camera footage shows Brown's actions and behavior do not warrant a criminal charge. The matter has been turned over to internal investigation, the results of which police say will be made public. Bucks spokesman Barry Baum said the team is aware of the decision and backing Brown. Coach Joe Prunty said last week that we support him in this, and we believe it will be resolved quickly. Okay, interesting right there, guys. So Sterling Brown, he seems to be getting off easy. But finally, last but not least, it's another update on Gordon Hayward and his mindset, I believe. That is mental, physical, and structural mindset. Let's jump into it. Finally, Celtics Gordon Hayward writes that rehab is mental grind, especially when results aren't obvious. Boston Celtics forward Gordon Hayward detailed the monotony of his rehab from a fractured ankle in a post to his personal blog Monday, and noted how the biggest challenge is staying focused when the results aren't always obvious. In a In a post entitled The Rehab Grind, Hayward wrote how his daily exercises are pretty monotonous and it's not fun, but detailed the progress he has made, including now being able to shoot flat-footed on the basketball court. And I quote, "The hardest part of all this is the mental grind," Hayward wrote. "It's a lot of time doing pretty boring things to get the slightest bit better every day. And of course, sometimes I don't get better. Sometimes I take a small step back because my ankle didn't react well to the thing that I did the day before. And so we have to walk it back a little. That's the hardest part and the most frustrating part for sure." Hayward got Celtics fans excited when joining the team during its West Coast road trip last week. Hayward was filmed getting up flat-footed shots at Staples Center before the Celtics and Clippers met last Wednesday. Celtics coach Brad Stevens said the team encouraged Hayward to break up the monotony of his rehab by heading out west for a couple weeks. Hayward has a home in San Diego and traveled up to Los Angeles to spend a few days with the Celtics while the team played a back-to-back. Asked about Hayward's progress before Saturday's game against the Golden State Warriors, Stevens reaffirmed the team does not expect him back this season. And I quote, "He makes a lot of shots standing still. I mean a lot. Like he's a heck of a standstill shooter now," said Stevens, gently poking fun at the stir that the video of Hayward's pregame shooting created. And I quote, "And he's really good in a chair too, but nothing new. We don't anticipate him being back this season." Hayward, who fractured his left ankle on opening night in Cleveland, has had notable milestones in recent months. He has got out of his walking boot in mid-December, then shed a small brace a couple weeks ago. In his blog, Hayward noted, "The act of walking finally feels normal. That's really nice." But Hayward also wrote about how he remains limited in what he can do a little more than 3 months since the injury. And I quote, "The next phase of my progression is to be able to do a single leg calf raise and do repetitions of it and not have fatigue or any pain or anything," Hayward wrote. And I quote, "And so that's kind of where I'm at. Like slowly progressing on the weight altering Ultra G treadmill. I started at like 30% of my body weight doing a single leg calf raise, and now we are slowly up to like 70%, 75%. And so I'm almost there, being able to do a single leg calf raise. Once I am able to do that, then I can do the elliptical. And once I'm clear doing the elliptical for a certain time and distance, then I'm able to start running." Hayward noted how he now attends most home games but does rehab work inside the Celtics locker room during game action. Stevens said last week that Hayward might travel with the team more often starting in early March. Hayward wrote that despite the frustrations, you have to keep pushing, and noted how support on social media has helped him through the tougher days. The Celtics entered Monday's action with a 35-15 record and are clinging to a one-game lead atop the Eastern Conference. The team has struggled offensively recently, and Hayward's absence has been more obvious than when the team ripped off 16 straight wins shortly after his injury. The way the Celtics have thrived without Hayward has resonated with others around the NBA. And I quote, "I was devastated for Hayward, and I'm happy to see he's recovering well. Their recovery as a team without him has been amazing," said Warriors coach Steve Kerr. And I quote, "2 losses to start the year, and then they just took off. Obviously a very well-coached team. A lot of talent, and they played well together. Biggest thing is that they are the best defensive team in the league. They are playing with a purpose every night." Okay, guys, that's all I have for you all tonight. I thank you for listening to this podcast, whether you're listening to it in the morning time, the afternoon, or even the evening. Like I am speaking it right now at around 10:15 at night. Just want to say thank you for your continued support, guys. It all depends. These podcasts all depend on what big news happened in this day, guys, and that was the Blake Griffin trade. So that's why it's an NBA podcast. You never know what can happen in the NFL or in top soccer that'll spark my attention, like Zlatan Ibrahimovic possibly going to the MLS. That's newsworthy. But guys, I will be bringing more information on those types of topics. If not so, then it will be NBA podcast, guys, especially since I'm enjoying the NBA podcast due to the fact that a lot of stuff is changing and the trade deadline is on February 8th, guys, in a couple of days. So that should be interesting as well to see who gets sneaked into a team on the last day. That is it, though, guys. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I just want to say like and subscribe if you do go into enjoying it. If you want to catch up with my NBA season 2017-2018 podcast series, it is on the channel, so go ahead and check that out. Thank you for listening. Other than that, how do you guys feel about the Blake Griffin trade? Let me know that in the comment section down below. Thank you for listening and have a great day. Peace, guys. Wow.